Hey, this is Rob and Trammy, and we're coming to you live from the Twice Bitten CrossFit kitchen. And today we're going to show you how to do some low carb keto pizza, pepperoni pizza. It's going to be awesome. So we've got in the oven right now a crust that we've already made, and then we're going to show you how to make the crust, and then we're going to add some toppings right now. Okay? So let's check it out.
Hold it. Okay, we're using the camera. Now you can go like that.
All right.
Okay, so basically what we do is mainly the crust is made out of a mozzarella cheese. So what I do is I get my cup measure and I measure out about 1 1/4 cup of mozzarella cheese. And after that I'll get like 2 tablespoons of cream cheese and I'll put it in the microwave. And after you get it out of the microwave, you wouldn't think that, but cheese is really, really good for a crust. And if you put it in, if you bake it. And so what happens is it gets like this kind of a gooey consistency, and that's what you really want. So after that, what you do is you get an egg, and you crack the egg. Go ahead and put the egg in. This holds everything together for the crust. We mix it up. Rob, feel free to comment if you have anything to say about the deliciousness of this pizza.
I have tried the pizza firsthand. It is good. It is really good. Reminds me of regular pizza, but without all the carbs in there.
Yeah, I mean, so far we've been doing this diet for about, I would say 2 months now, and we're seeing really, really good results. That's why we're really wanting to share a lot of these recipes with everybody. Okay, so what we want to do is you could use 2 things for flour. You could use coconut flour or you could use almond flour. We don't have any more almond flour, so let's just use coconut flour. I would say use 1/4 of a cup. If you use almond flour, what I would do is I would use a little bit more. I would use 3/4 cup. Basically, almond flour, it absorbs a lot more water. So if you use a lot of coconut flour is what absorbs a lot of water. It makes everything really dry. So you want to use less whenever you're using this recipe. So if you're using coconut flour, I would say use 1/4 cup. If you're using almond flour, I would say use about 3/4. Okay? And I put it in here. And it all kind of depends on what the consistency of the mixture is. It should start resembling a dough a little bit more, and if it's a little bit wet, then that means you have to put in more flour. So it is actually more wet, so I would put in more. But don't overdo it. So you keep mixing. And it's starting to come together. You really want it to make it you want it to make it so it's not sticky. It'll seriously feel like dough, like pizza dough. So you keep mixing until it doesn't stick on your fingers. So what I do is I'll touch it, and then if it starts having too much residue on my fingers, then I'll totally add a little bit more.
And guys, I see we've got quite a few people that have joined us here. Feel free to ask any questions. We'd love to answer questions for you about the recipe or anything else. Just a quick nutrition tip. When we're looking at the label here on the coconut flour, it's not really zooming in right for me, but you'll see total carbohydrates 8 and then dietary fiber 5, which makes for 3 grams of net carbs. And net carbs are referring to how it ultimately affects our blood sugar, and that's what makes this a low carb option. So good stuff.
So after I am finished mixing it up, I'll use my hands, and you see can you zoom in on this? If you zoom in, you can see that the dough is really, really sticking to itself, and that's what we really want. So it's sticking to itself, it's not sticking to my hands. That means it's perfect and it's totally ready. And what I use is I use parchment paper, and I put it in a baking pan. And once I put it in the baking pan, I will flatten it out with a rolling pin. I don't have a rolling pin now because I use my rolling pin for my clay project, so it has clay on it. So what we've been using is, you put it here, can you zoom on this? What we use is just like a coconut oil, an empty coconut oil jar, and you roll it out, make sure you get all the detail, until it looks like a pizza consistency, and it's about half an inch thick, maybe a little bit less, it depends on how thick you want it. So after you finish doing that, you should be ready to put it in the oven, and it should be ready to be a delicious pizza. You put it in the oven for about 7 minutes, that's it. And so you can make it thinner than this. I'm just going to stick it here for now. Use my hands to really like feel it out to see how thick I want it. This is perfect. You want to look at it? It's perfect. And I'm super excited. Okay, so in here we already have a pizza waiting in the oven. So you guys don't have to wait. Basically 7 minutes and voila, you have a really delicious pizza crust. With coconut flour, what happens is it rises a little bit, so you'll have these air pockets. And coconut flour is a lot sweeter than almond flour. I personally prefer almond flour. We just ran out. But coconut flour works just fine too.
It's still really good.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's really good still. It's golden brown. You'll see, this is how you know when it's done. And so, since we have this prepared for you, we're going to put all our favorite ingredients on there. Except spinach, because we ran out of spinach too. Spinach, I love to put spinach on my pizza.
And it is good, Christina.
Yeah. Is somebody saying that it's not good?
No, Christina said it looks good.
Oh, does it?
So confirming that it is good.
I was like, oh, it's so good. Okay, so right now what we're going to do is I have pizza sauce. We just got pizza sauce with good stats from Walmart. Just make sure there's no sugar in it. There's some sugar in here, but look for no sugar, low carbs. So my hands are oily, so I can't open this very well. Okay, so you get your spoon and you put generous portions on your pizza. It depends on how much you like. If you really like a lot of pizza sauce, then put in, be my guest, just cover it up with pizza sauce. I like just a little bit, so this is good enough for us. Second, we have, what else should we put on this? You can get totally creative. I have all these things laid out for us. So what we could do is put, we have bell peppers. I'll put on some bell peppers on there. And then there's some tomatoes. And then bacon. And then every once in a while, I would say, as you put on the ingredients, I would give it a layer of cheese. So I have a Fiesta blend cheese. You can use any cheese you want. I recommend using like mozzarella or cheddar. Parmesan, maybe a little bit. It's a little bit too salty and it doesn't melt very well. But as you start putting your ingredients on there, just start sprinkling a little bit of cheese. And I also have eggplant right here to get your vegetables in. It's super good.
We have the eggplant left over from the eggplant lasagna we made earlier. Look at that. Awesome. We just showed you a video last weekend of that, so that's on our feed here if you want to scroll down and check that out. Really good stuff.
Okay, and then I like mushrooms, so I have a bunch of mushrooms. And I really like to overstuff my pizza, so you don't have to overstuff your pizza this much. I like to make it like a big pie. So a little bit more cheese. And what else should I put on? More bacon, maybe?
A little more bacon, yep.
Okay. Rob's a fan of the bacon. And
Yes, Shannon, we cooked the bacon first. We found a new method in cooking our bacon earlier, actually. Like, instead of just doing a strip at a time, since we know we're going to use it for different things, we just kind of cut it up and cooked it all at once. So, like, tripled our amount of cooking time that we don't have to do with the bacon.
yeah, we can cook like 3 packages of bacon. We use a lot of bacon in our recipes. So instead of cooking one and having it be perfect and then taking it out, we totally just like throw it all in there in one big skillet. And we have a lot of bacon for a lot of things now. Okay, so on top, we can totally use pepperoni. I have pepperoni here. So just get out a little pile and just put it on there. You know, one thing that I really like about this pizza is that it really tastes like the real thing, and it's it's a healthier option, really, and I don't even miss real pizza now. And yeah, I think that the only thing that's missing though is spinach. I love having spinach in my pizza. I like having a mixture of all kinds of colors like leafy greens and things like that on here. I feel like this pizza is too orange and red. I want some greens in there. But yeah, you can definitely pile your vegetables on there, and it's a really good option for you. So that is basically our pizza. You want to take a look at it?
Looks good. And Laura just gave us the suggestion we could bake our bacon first. It takes less time and less mess if you bake on parchment paper. Laura, we will have to try that out.
That is actually a really good idea, because whenever you're cooking bacon, it pops everywhere. And if you look at our stove right now, we're going to have to clean it all up. That's all from the bacon, all that grease and stuff like that. All right, so we're going to put it in the oven, and wanted to let you know, thank you so much for joining us. We have to make room. So just scoot this little guy over. Don't burn yourself. Don't catch the towel on fire.
We've done that. We've done that.
And there you go. There's a crustless pizza, low carb, and super happy.
Oh, I was trying to get camera angle change, but not working. So, all right.
Look at you. Look at you. Sorry, guys. Rob doesn't know
Technical difficulties. All right. Well, there you have it. And next weekend, like, we just made a meatloaf. And it is freaking awesome. It is so good. So if you're a fan of meatloaf, you'll want to tune in next weekend, and we're going to show you how to do that.
Yeah, we're every week we meal prep, like you already know, and we always try different recipes, and we always try to choose recipes that are really, really good for you. So no sugars and low carb if you're really into wanting to lose some weight for the spring.
All right. So we will see you later.